In this video, we're going to learn about the 3D sketch environment inside of Autodesk Inventor. Now, traditionally, we do a lot of our sketching in a 2D realm. So we have our basic plane that we sketch on, we start creating our basic geometry, then we create features from that geometry. Sometimes, when geometry is so complex and you need some three-dimensional definition, you might have to enter the 3D sketch environment. Now, in order to do this, you simply go up to your 3D Model tab, your Sketch panel, and there's a flyout here, so you can choose Start 3D Sketch. Now, when you begin this environment, it does not ask you to choose a plane to start on because this entire environment is in 3D. We do have some commands here which are familiar to us from the 2D realm, such as the line command, the arc command, splines, equation curves, point, as well as familiar commands such as dimension, constraining tools, although they are truncated. These are only a few geometric constraints that you can apply inside of the 3D sketch environment. We also have our mirror tool and some of our modification commands like trim, extend, and split. We also have the ability to import X and Y, Z points, an AutoCAD file, as well as use construction geometry and driven dimensions. Now, as far as the unique tools that are here, we have a Helical Curve command, which allows us to build a helical curve based on points. It's usually a good idea to have at least one starting point on your screen, such as the origin point that might be projected, or the end of some other geometry that you're including. Which brings us to the point of the include geometry, which basically allows you to include geometry from other sketches or part edges in order for you to reference inside of this environment. Because there is no project geometry, it's simply, yes, I would like to include that to be utilized as a reference inside this environment. We also have our bend command, which is a command unique to the 3D sketch environment to do automatic 3D fillet tools on our line segments as we create them. In the expanded menu here, we also have precise input in case we know the exact X and Y and Z translations of our lines in 3D space. We also have some tools to help us build a complex piece of geometry between multiple curves. That's our intersection curve command. This will actually allow you to have two different surfaces or a face and a surface, and then build a 3D sketch where they would intersect their two surfaces. So that can be really complex. However, we'll take a look at a few examples in this course where that might be beneficial. We also have a silhouette curve, which is very beneficial for things like mold products, if we need to put a silhouette curve for parting line definition. And we also have Projective Surface, which this tool has multiple outputs for it depending on your scenario that you need, to take a line and project it onto a surface or a face or even a cylindrical face. Now, as I mentioned earlier, this is something that you may not use 3D sketching a lot. If you do a lot of complex geometry, you might spend more time in here. In fact, if you do a lot of complex geometry, you definitely want to check out the other course from O'Reilly Media that is authored by Paul Mumford that allows you to understand more advanced 3D surfacing as well as freeform design using more complex shape description tools. In this course, we're going to keep it a little bit simpler for those times when you occasionally need to come in here to do this type of work, as well as give you a nice understanding on a broad spectrum of really what we're trying to do inside of a 3D sketch with some of our additional tools. Now, once you're done with your 3D sketch environment, if you would like to exit out of it, simply right-click and choose Finish 3D Sketch, or choose the Finish Sketch option in the upper right area of the screen.